Hello and thank you for watching this introductory video to the next Screaming Wombats Airsoft Light Milsim series. At the end of our Divide series, General Slim Jackson led the military forces to victory, defeating the United States Freedom Fighter militia. The military captured political and public support necessary to earn dominion over the nation and set off the control panel to assassinate the evil Stillman regime. While the military won the event, their victory was not without consequences. 2 years after the end of the Divide Wars, we find ourselves in a post-apocalyptic environment caused by radioactive fallout from the nuclear device, causing certain parts of the map to be impassable, where resources are key, and the teams will have to earn the resources they need to be victorious in the first installment of this series. Chapter 1 of The Fallen is titled Freefall. There will be 3 factions at play in this event. The first faction is referred to as the Provisional Government, or PG forces. In the power vacuum that existed after the Stillman regime was assassinated, General Slim Jackson stepped up to the plate as a provisional government leader. The provisional government is responsible for distributing supplies, rations, and resources, as well as providing security and protection against rioters and looters, so the citizens of the nation can once again imagine the American dream. The next faction we'll discuss is referred to as the Nomadic Traders. This is not a militarized team. This is a group of civilians that had to resort to salvaging resources from the remnants of civilization. These people have created their own society centered around building a life for themselves by selling the resources that they're able to scavenge. Both militarized teams will need to rely on the nomadic traders, as they will be the only source of essential resources that those teams will need to secure their objectives. The last faction at play in this event are the Citizen Defense Rangers, or Rangers for short. After the Divide Wars, the resulting landscape made life difficult all across the nation. Groups of civilians were dissatisfied at the lack of resources and the unintentional killings of senators and representatives at the end of the Divide War by the provisional government. These citizens were deeply distrustful of provisional government forces and felt like resources were not being fairly distributed. They've taken up arms against the provisional government forces in order to secure additional resources as well as to secure political clout, to provide a more free and stable future for their families. And as if having 3 separate factions wasn't confusing enough, there are a few game mechanics that this event pushes the limits on as well. Each team will be able to spawn at their main spawns. Otherwise, there will be no capture points. There are 2 public spawns at Echo and Zulu base. Each militarized team will have access to a mobile spawn flag that they can deploy within certain parameters outlined in the op specs. The Nomadic Raider team can spawn at any team's spawn point. Both militarized teams will have supply bases that can be raided by the opposing team. The Nomadic Trader Village will be the main spawn for the Nomadic Trader team. Their resources that will be available for sale will be in a marked off building that is not raidable. They may also store supplies here. Medic rules will differ between the militarized teams and the Nomadic Traders as well. Militarized teams will need to have a kill card in order to be eligible to be medicked, and may be medicked using a tourniquet. Players on the militarized team may be medicked as many times as they have tourniquets. They can be tied around either an arm or a leg. The Nomadic Trader team cannot be medicked using tourniquets and do not require kill cards. Nomadic Traders may be revived once per full respawn with a 2-handed 30-second count buddy aid by another Nomadic Trader only. You may have noticed that the entire eastern boundary of the map is marked in a different color and indicated as a radioactive zone. There may be an additional objective that the provisional government can protect against the citizen defense rangers. Entering the radioactive zone without a radioactive suit will cause the player to be immediately killed, wait their 3-minute bleed out, and they must respawn fully. Radioactive suits will be in very limited supply and can be obtained via objectives or purchase from the nomadic traders. Other game mechanics that are not standard to normal airsoft light mil sims should be easier to understand, and we will have referees on the field to help clarify these rules. As always, the success of every event is entirely due to the wonderful players that show up on the field. Thank you so much for all that you do to build the community we're proud to be a part of. After the event, we will be hosting the normal raffle with products provided by our sponsors, as well as having a costume contest for the best post-apocalyptic nomadic trader costume. Thank you for watching. Pre-registration goes live today, and we will see you on the field.